Hello, I'm John Feldt, and this is the Blue Water Outlook weekly water outlook for Texas, Oklahoma, and the southern region for December 23rd, 2012. Well, for most of the region, once again, it's been very dry last week. This is the rainfall over the last 7 days. You can see hardly any rain at all over Oklahoma and most of Texas. There was some lighter amounts of rainfall over the far eastern part of Texas and southeast Oklahoma, and fairly widespread rain over Louisiana and Arkansas. Matter of fact, all of Arkansas received light amount of rain, and the green was half inch to about an inch, so parts of it received a more significant rainfall. But still, the story last week, if we look at percent of normal rainfall, was very dry, 0% of normal rainfall over the majority of the area. So it's been pretty dry despite an active period. Now, this is the snow accumulation last week, and I have outlined here in red. In yellow here, or orange, is the 7 to 14 inches of snow, and then green, actually 14 to 21. And this is the extent of snow. You can see that it's beginning to cover parts of the nation this time of year, and this is actually a more extensive, is in the blue, more extensive snow cover. So we are beginning to transition, as we'd expect this time of year, to more vigorous systems and stronger systems and more active patterns across the United States. Now, I wanted to put the area of drought overlaid with how much rain fell last week, and I sort of outlined some of the areas of more significant rain, and you can see that snow in Kansas and some more heavier rain over far southeast Oklahoma and Arkansas, very light rain over Texas, but look at that core of drought in Oklahoma and West Texas. You can see that no rain fell over that core of drought, so conditions have not improved from the drought standpoint over most of Oklahoma, but there was enough rain over the far southeast, very light amount of improvement over this region, and then Arkansas has been seeing continued improvement for a while now. Now, the Arctic Oscillation, I've been mentioning that because that tends to anchor the precipitation patterns. And you can see here below this line is negative, so we had a period of negative, then positive, and now we have sort of three peaks of negative here, or dips of negative. And I think what's sort of interesting to watch here is we've been in this negative phase now for quite some time, and usually about after this time we go into another type of maybe of a neutral or positive phase. So we're overdue for that change, and then sort of change where these precipitation patterns are anchored. And here's a model, and it shows that as we get towards the end of the year, we're going to get more towards neutral, and then a very big spread here. Models aren't all that sure of what it's going to do as we get into early 2013. But at least for this week, this is very much what you'd see with a negative AO. Pooling of colder air to the north, and what we're going to have is the jet stream will be dipping south, and then we'll have pulses of cold air that will be sagging south with time, and with each one we'll have a fairly strong storm system that will develop. And I wanted to point out or bring out where the paths of these lows are going to go, and from a general perspective, north of that path of the low this time of year you'd expect freezing or frozen precipitation, and south of that liquid precipitation. And this is your classic system here, and this is from a model for this week. Here's your low, your deep low, your flow around the low. And I wanted to sort of give you a little lesson here in precipitation. This is your typical pattern you might see. And what you would have here is this area of precipitation north of the low. That's called the deformation zone. That is usually in the colder air this time of year, and that's where you get your heavier snow. The area that's trailing to the south here is along that cold front, and that's more in the line of, say, thunderstorms and showers and maybe even rain. But this is the typical pattern you'd get with a strong wintertime system. And you're going to get a wide variety of precipitation with this. Snow, freezing rain, heavy snow, showers, severe thunderstorms, and even the chance of flash flooding, mainly to the east of Texas, but it will be brushing Oklahoma, it will be brushing eastern Texas, and definitely a winter weather event over a large part of Arkansas up into the Tennessee Valley. But I wanted to point out we're getting very vigorous type systems now as we get into winter. But for Texas, trends and threats, most of Texas and a large part of Oklahoma will remain dry this week, but then the eastern parts will be on the very edge of that strong system, and there will be some impacts in that area. This is the outlook for precipitation this week. It looks very similar to the last couple weeks, a little bit more into Oklahoma, and that would be very welcome. It'll be in the form of snow, so even though it'll be very inconvenient to have some travel problems from a water resource perspective, it'll be welcome over that state. So the takeaway points, a little change in the overall pattern, at least this week, but a change in the AO could be in store for early 2013. Continued dry most of the region. However, parts of eastern Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas could see either rain or significant snow. Hey, I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. I hope you enjoy your holiday period. And I want to thank you for all being a subscriber to Blue Water Outlook in 2012. I will be talking to you again next week. And again, have a Merry Christmas.